Hey guys, welcome to Bloggers United. Welcome to another video, and this is a video that I wanted to do for a time already, but I didn't get about to it because, you know, the Copa America and the news about Masia. But I think that it's time to talk about it, and as you might see in the title, is that Takefusa Kubo has joined Real Madrid for a fee around 1 to 2 million euros. It's a very cheap fee. He's a really young, talented player. As you guys know, he used to be in La Masia. He's one of the players that I'm guessing that's where the ban came in, where we had a ban in the 15-16 season where we couldn't sign any players, and it was we got a ban because we were signing players underage, and because of that he had to leave Barcelona. He's a player that was very talented when he was at Barcelona. He's still very good. It's gonna be making his, well, he already has played a few games already with the Japanese national team. He's gonna be playing the Copa America. It's gonna be very interesting to watch Takefusa Kubo because he could develop into one of the best players in world football. They call him the Japanese Messi, which I already think that is an issue to any player. And it's not just about being compared to Messi, which you're being compared to the best player of all time. So already you either make it or you're gonna be nowhere near Messi. And my guess is that he's gonna be nowhere near Messi. Takefusa Kubo is very good. Like, he's a player that I think would have suited Barcelona, but at this moment in time, he's a player that I don't think we don't have space for him in the team. There is a lot of players that I would put in front of him that have left us. That it's been a shame that they left us. We've throughout the years had many players who just couldn't make it at Barcelona. We did wrong things wrong with them, or we just didn't give them a chance, or maybe they weren't professional enough, they weren't good enough to make it at Barcelona. Kubo, again, he's good, but when you start comparing players to other players, that is a bad thing, especially when, like, for example, Joao Felix being compared to the next Cristiano Ronaldo. I think it's not a real comparison because Joao Felix is not a player anywhere near the characteristics of Cristiano Ronaldo. Joao Felix is a creative player that is very good in association, that's very good on the one-on-ones. Ronaldo is more of a direct finisher with a lot of power. Like, it's nothing close of a comparison. You have, like, for example, when you say the next Iniesta, the next Xavi, you start doing things wrong because you get to a very dangerous situation whether players are starting to get pressure and they might start to believe that they are the next big thing and that a lot of it is expected of them. So I don't think it helps them at any situation to be compared to other great players that you say that they're similar to such players. For example, comparing Frankie de Jong to Johan Cruyff, it's not good that he's going to be the next Johan Cruyff, but that they are similar in characteristics. Yes, they are, and that's perfectly fine. Takefusa Kubo and Madrid, I don't know what the project is with Madrid, to be honest. They went from signing superstars, except this summer, but for the past few seasons they've been signing young prospects that, hey, I agree with it, and it's very interesting what they're doing, but they're going, they're going to the other extreme. Like, they went from signing world-class superstars to just signing young potential players, but they're signing too many of them. Like, Takefusa Kubo is a player that in a 4-3-3, he's gonna be playing, I guess, in the wing because he's not a striker, and I don't think that he's that suited to play in center midfield, so I'm guessing he's gonna play in the wing, and he has to compete with Hazard, Vinicius, Rodrigo, Brahim, Asensio, Lucas Vázquez. Like, there is too many players playing winger right now that Kubo has to compete with. Where is he gonna fit? You have Martin Odegaard coming back to Real Madrid, at least for the time being, unless he's sold or sent out on loan somewhere else. There's been rumors that he might join Bayer Leverkusen or Ajax, but again, he's another player that I think is absolutely fantastic. That, and in my opinion, he's better than Kubo. Like Masia and Odegaard, he's better than some of the Real Madrid players that I just listed. And in my opinion, he should be one of the players given a chance, because I think after Hazard, he's probably the best creator at Real Madrid. If you take out James Rodriguez, who I think could play actually in midfield. Again, there's been many of these situations throughout. I'm just gonna say throughout Barca and Madrid, but there's throughout so many teams in world football that you just have way too much talent that you're not able to use properly. But for example, Real Madrid have Martin Odegaard, as I said before, and for a point he was competing with the likes of Alen Halilovic. Who doesn't remember Alen Halilovic? I think, in my opinion, one of the players that I regret the most that we didn't get to use properly, and it's still a shame because I think the kid still has a lot of potential. He's been unlucky, I think. Like some of the loans where he's been has not been heavily successful for him. He's still playing for the Croatian national team, and in my opinion, Alen Halilovic is one of the few players that I would actually bring to Barcelona right now, because I think that he has a high potential. Like when you see Ricky Puig, I think Halilovic is more of a 10. I would say that he's more of a defined 10, but in my opinion, Alen Halilovic was like in potential probably just as big as Ricky Puig, like an absolutely fantastic centre midfielder. Odegaard, again, the same thing. It was a shame that Barcelona couldn't sign him, but very high in potential, and they both have had fantastic. Well, Halilovic at Standard Liège has had a decent season, and I think Odegaard in the Dutch league the past 2 seasons on loan has been very progressive, and I think at Ajax he would actually be world class. There's other examples of Barcelona, like you for example have Gerard Deulofeu, is amazing right now at Watford, and I knew that when he left, he went to a club that was going to give him minutes and that was going to play him an assistant that suit him, which he's basically playing as a second striker next to Troy Deeney, who is basically grabbing all the defenders towards him and letting Gerard Deulofeu all the freedom to go and create play for the team. It's a shame that at Barcelona he wasn't given a proper chance, and I mean he wasn't given a proper chance because we just decided to give him 500 minutes, and if he wasn't going to succeed in 500 minutes in 6 months, we gave up on him. One of the players that I think has the most potential right now in world football, I'm not kidding. I think that anyone that has seen Deulofeu throughout his youth career knows what I'm talking about. He has massive talent, like the combination of pace and close dribbling is fantastic. I think he's professional. Like he was having problems like as a professional in his early career, but I think he's much more improved. That I think that he's much more mature. And for example, if we're gonna sell Malcolm for 40 million and bring in Deulofeu for 20 to 30 million, it wouldn't be that bad of a thing. Like he knows Barcelona, he knows the way we do things, and if we bring a coach that's gonna properly use him as a 4th forward or the 5th forward and give him a lot of minutes, at least 1,500 to 2,000 minutes a season, it would be very beneficial for Barcelona. I think that we could maybe unmask one of the best players in the world, and we didn't even realize we had him. Another case of a player that was destined to be one of the best players in the world, but just things went the wrong way, and this was more of his fault than our fault. But at the same time, Bojan Kirkic, he was a player. I think we all know him. He debuted I think in the 2009 season. Yes, 2009-2010 season, and he was very good. Guardiola gave him a lot of minutes. He was touted to be better than Lionel Messi. Like Lionel Messi had 1 year when we won the treble, 1 year where he was like already stepping up to be the best in the world. But Bojan Kirkic, everyone was saying because of his age, and he's younger than Messi, he maybe could even surpass him. And Bojan Kirkic was a very good player. Like Messi was playing centrally and Guardiola was playing off the left with Pedro off the right in the 2009-2010 season towards the end. Because remember, we were playing with Ibrahimovic in the right and Henry on the left with Messi centrally, and because things weren't working out very well for us, we decided to go with Pedro on the right and Bojan Kirkic on the left, and it was working perfectly fine. But for some reason, someone decided to tell Bojan to just go ahead and play centrally. You need to play in the middle. Because you're much more suited to play in the middle. but we had someone call Lionel Messi, and Guardiola was not going to allow that to happen. A combination of him thinking that he was going to be better than what he actually was at the time was a mistake. He went for a few projects that didn't suit his play style. He just faded into a player that wasn't a fraction of how good he was, and I think he actually would have been one of the best players. Like, we could still have a forward line of Bojan, Messi, and someone else, like Bojan, Messi, Suarez, something similar to that, because there were players that played very well, that had really good technique with the ball. It was an unfortunate situation. And again, for example, if you told me you can bring in Halilovic to fight a spot in the team, I would say I would much rather have Halilovic than Aleñá, because I think he's just a much better player, and I think that he could suit Barcelona perfectly. But again, I don't think that we should feel bad that Takefusa Kubo is joining Real Madrid, because at the moment being, he's not a player that we're going to be able to use him. Like, we already have a problem bringing in Ricky Puig to the first team, and Aleñá to give him minutes. Like, it's not a moment to debate that he needs to play in midfield, because he's not going to play in midfield. I don't think he suits the role in center midfield. And in the forward line, we saw Malcolm this season. He is heavily better than Kubo at this moment in time. Maybe not at the end of their careers. We don't know who's going to be better, but at this moment in time, Malcolm has much more of a career developed because of the years that he has in top 5 football, and he hasn't been given a sniff from Valverde. So I don't know what we're expecting, but Takefusa Kubo, I don't think he's going to feature that much if he was to join Barcelona. And to be honest, I'm sure that the first thing that has going to happen to him is he's going to be either playing with the Castilla, or he's going to be sent out on loan, because at Madrid he has no space at all. Like, there's a lot of players in that forward line for Madrid that are going to have to leave on loan, or you're going to have to get sold. So with that said and done, leave me your comments in the comment section below. Who do you think? Do you think that Takefusa Kubo is going to be a success for Madrid? Do you think that we made a mistake by not signing him back? With all that said and done, leave me your comments in the comment section below. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, greatness.